tout le monde. I'm Amy, currently in Ile Rodrigue Island, and you're watching what I'm doing right now. And now you're watching what Michael's doing.
It wouldn't be Monday if there weren't trucks blocking my way to my parking spot. One of the few things in life that actually does get me angry is these trucks blocking the way and then having the drivers, taking stuff out of the back of the truck and wheeling it wherever and then just staring at me while they do that. Like, what's this guy's problem? I would like to park in my spot and go to work so I don't get fired. What you got there, Todd?
A heavy thing. full of lights.
Apparently it weighs 73 pounds. That's what the box said, at least.
I may look strong, but it's all a lie.
The lighting kit is now a seat.
Yes.
For Katelyn's sitting. So we've got the Blackmagic Ursa viewfinder. We have the Blackmagic Ursa Mini shoulder kit, but we don't have the Blackmagic yet. It has not arrived. Look at that fancy window. Dang.
Okay, this is your activator switch. When this goes in, it'll fire if you have the triggered in. Okay. So that, every time you tap it, it'll fire.
So this is set to be pushed in and then trigger pulled.
Yep.
Is there anywhere I shouldn't put my hand other than in front of the thing?
This right here is going to spray air, and that rotates.
Okay.
So you just push.
Did that put a thing in the thing? You can't even really see it, but it did
Right.
it. Okay.
Put it right here. There you go. Take this one.
I feel like I could build something. Is there a safety?
Just finger off the trigger.
Seems dangerous. So we're making progress. We've got these two walls built all the way up there. We're working on this one. We're a little bit concerned about whether or not we have enough wood to do the whole thing, but we'll see.
But I do got some good news. Follow me. Come here. Follow me. Look at this sexy corner. Ooh.
That is very nice.
So, if anything, we got a sexy corner.
I mean, if I do this, it looks like you're in a cabin. Except that we can see the wall outside. We've got this piece left, we've got those pieces left, and there's a few pieces upstairs down to the wire.
Oh.
Are we gonna make it, Todd?
Oh.
So, I learned recently that Ken has Amish roots. What does that mean exactly?
That means that my mother was born and raised Amish. I was born Amish. My grandparents on my mother's side of the family are all Amish, and most of the family on my mom's side is still Amish.
So you and your mom left
When I was 2 years old. But I spent a lot of summers and winters and just good old family time with the Amish folk.
So you would go back every summer or so when you were a youngin'? I understand that the Amish folk are not allowed to use certain kinds of technology. And I'm curious about where that line is, because one could make the argument that a hammer is technology. Humans invented that at some point. So at what point do the Amish say, okay, that is too much technology?
Okay, you ready for a complicated story?
Okay.
This is how this works. Each individual Amish community, Amish communities consist of groups of Amish people inside states or counties, have their own sets of rules and laws. So in one Amish community, you may be allowed to use somebody else's electricity in your house as long as you're working on their farm and living in their house as a part of working in their farm. You can utilize electricity and things like that. You can utilize electricity in your barns and things. You can run generators to keep your ice box and stuff like that cold. And then there are some that are very strict Amish people that will not allow you to have any sort of powered device, period. My uncles in Kentucky actually used to get cars, park them at the neighbor's house, and Like, they would drive around on the weekends and stuff like that. Like, I kid you not, my uncle had like a Z71, like 19, what was it? It was like a 94 Camaro 5-speed, like cherry red racing stripes, like, great. You know what I mean?
Full Amish beard? Or?
No, he wasn't married. The beards only happen when an Amish man marries a woman. Okay. That is their that's like their signal of they're married. Like,
do they have a wedding ring?
No.
So it's just the beard.
Just the beard.
So, because we were talking about
like you couldn't use the nail gun as an Amish person, right?
No. Okay. Most communities, if you are a carpenter by trade, you can run a generator, and since a generator will power the air compressor powers the nail gun, you can use it.
That's so weird. Okay.
But, like, I mean, at the same time, you can't use that generator to power lights in your house. You have to use gas lanterns or fireplaces, or, you know, you have to cook with, like, wood stoves and stuff like that.
So the electricity, depending on which group you're in, the rules of that specific place, the generator can be allowed if it helps you do work.
Right. And I mean, even some groups allow you to have it, like I said, to keep your stuff cold. Mm-hmm. But there are some Amish groups that still have, like, ice houses. So, you know, you got big old blocks of ice covered in sawdust inside of a box that keeps your stuff cold.
Like, how do they decide this? Like, is there like a council or something?
Something like the elders.
Elders, okay.
The elders in the community dictate what happens in, like, the community itself. And it's really weird, right? Because, like, when you go to church, like, Amish church is probably the most bizarre thing you will ever see. Okay, so you've got all the men and the boys sitting in front of the reverend or pastor or whatever they call themselves. And all the women sit in the room behind. Mind you, church happens in somebody's house. The women will sit behind the preacher in a different room. Now, halfway through the service, the women and the girls will start cooking, like, Sunday dinner or Sunday lunch for everybody. So after everything is done, all the men get to eat. And then once the men are done eating, the women get to eat. Now, this happens also when an Amish family has guests over. The older women and, like, the woman of the house have to serve the men, the children, and the guests before they are allowed to sit at the table and eat themselves. And so it's a little bit primitive. So
now you were telling me when you spent your childhood there that you got some good beatings.
Yeah. The police, social services, and things like that will not interfere with an Amish culture's, like, way of raising kids. So that means you can get beat any kind of way they want. Women can get beat any kind of way a man wants. Why? Because the Bible says that a man is the head of the household. So what happened one time is, I was like 9 years old, and me and my cousin, we were cleaning out the calves' bedding. So we were taking all the old straw out and putting new straw in. Well, we didn't get this done before dinner time. My uncle came out with a V-belt, which is a belt from a car. He beat us. He beat us for, like, till we didn't want to eat dinner anymore. You know what I mean? And we still had to finish our chores before we could eat. You know, I've had cousins and stuff like that run away from their families because their fathers and mothers beat them so bad that, you know, and nobody will do anything. The state and the federal government kind of stay out of it because it's part of their religion. And because it's part of their religion, like, they're not allowed to interfere.
Does that sound like a good deal?
No.
My grandmother had 13 kids. I'm sorry, 12. My mom had 11 brothers and sisters. She had 5 miscarriages on top of the 12 kids.
Sounds exhausting.
Yeah. Now, mind you, like, the woman, while men are working, it is their responsibility to tend the garden, clean the house, do all the chores around the house, and, you know, maintain the household, the kids, and everything like that while men are working. They have to do all this while pregnant. Amish, if you ever go to an Amish cemetery, you will see that, like, 80% of the graves are from, like, stillborns or babies that are under a year old. Because of this, there are also lots of birth defects. We don't have any new blood coming in, so we have to keep track of our cousins and second cousins and third cousins because we marry our second cousin and, you know, reproduce. And if you have second cousins and second cousins marrying second cousins, I mean, you can only imagine without any new blood coming into the culture, like how, I mean, West Virginia hillbilly we are. You know? Inbred is about as good as it gets. You know what I mean?
So when you went there as a child, you had to dress, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
That way.
If I was staying for any length of time and like my mom and whatever weren't around, like I had to dress like I was Amish. Had a hat, straw hat, spenders, like handmade clothes.
Spenders. I would say I would like to see a picture, but
you know, it's crazy. Here's something cool. An Amish baby, boy or girl, has to wear a dress until they are potty trained. It makes it easier to change diapers. So my grandmother still has all my dresses from when I was a baby.
So I've learned that whatever the rattly noise is that my phone experiences while mounted to my windshield is not caused by what I thought it was caused by.
What did you think it was caused by?
I thought it was rattling against the dashboard right here.
Oh yes, that's what I thought it was too.
But it still did it even after I remounted it higher. I am beyond pleased at how well the set is turning out.
Ken is doing a very good job.
I saw a comment on a recent video, I don't remember which one or who said it, but they made the comment that, or I guess it was a question, why aren't you just using a green screen? I think we're just going to get so much more character out of an actual set than is possible with a green screen. Aside from the fact that keying out a green screen or a blue screen behind a person takes time to get looking good, especially if you want it to be nearly imperceptible, it takes a lot of time to do that. So by building a set, we're saving ourselves a ton of time in post-production. If you're dealing with someone who has long hair and there's, you know, strands going everywhere, that's super messy to try to key out. And with an actual set, we can have Katelyn interacting with the set. We can have her walking around in the space. We can have her touching the space. I mean, we're going to have a green screen element in the set anyway, but it's nice that that area is going to be contained, not behind Katelyn.
What shows use a green screen other than SciShow? That's the only one that I know of.
Crash Course used to use a green screen, I believe. You're talking about what shows at Ego Geek?
Well, just in YouTube shows in general.
There's probably a lot. There's some kind of DIY film-related thing where they have like a whole digital set behind them. It's like they rendered out what they wanted their set to look like in some kind of 3D program, and they just use that as the background for their green screen. I feel like I've seen some news shows do that as well, where they have kind of like just a faux 3D newsroom that they've rendered and stick behind the person talking. Hello, kitten. How's it going, kitten? You're ignoring me, kitten. Whatever, kitten. All this Kate Tectonic stuff is exciting, but it's also stressful because, well, first of all, this is sort of the first big project that my production studio is going to attempt, so that all by itself is scary, and it feels like if that doesn't do well, then the studio is not off to a great start. But aside from that, I'm worried about geology being a more niche subject than something more glamorous, I guess. When we were working on the Brain Scoop, I feel like biology and natural history are generally more interesting to the general population. I feel like the number of people who are interested in geology, or the number of people who currently know that they're interested in geology, is relatively small compared to the people interested in biology. So I feel like we have a little bit of an uphill battle in trying to convince mass numbers of people that they want to learn about rocks and minerals and plate tectonics and everything that goes into earth sciences. But I guess we'll find out soon enough. We're hoping to start shooting next week, so hopefully we get our camera before then. I don't know what we're gonna do if that doesn't work out. I'm gonna go to bed now so I can get up early and jog and then go to work, or just sleep in until it's time to go to work. Either way, thank you for watching this video, and I will see you tomorrow.